D. Speak your truth. Hold your frame. Walk in power. You are in a quiet war you didn't know you were in. Let me speak to you directly. If you've ever walked away from a conversation and felt like your soul shrank just a little, if you've ever kept the peace just to avoid punishment, if you've ever apologized not because you were wrong, but because someone twisted your reality until you doubted it, you were being manipulated. And I know it hurts to admit that, because manipulation doesn't always come from strangers. Sometimes it comes from the people you trusted most: family, lovers, friends, even leaders. They don't scream, they don't strike, they suggest, they imply, they flatter, they guilt, and then they make you feel crazy for noticing it. But after today, that ends. Today, you learn the tactics. You learn to see through the charm. You learn to say, "Not anymore." And you'll learn it through one of the most brutally honest minds in history, Niccolo Machiavelli. Because to stop being controlled, you must understand how control works. In the next part, we're going to expose how manipulation hides behind confusion and how it quietly destroys your self-trust. Part 1. They don't need to hurt you to control you. They just need to confuse you. You're in a relationship. You set a boundary. You say something simple. "I don't feel respected when you speak to me like that." And suddenly, they make you the problem. They say you're too sensitive, that you're always complaining, that you're making drama out of nothing. Now you're questioning yourself. Am I overreacting? Was I too cold? Did I make it worse? That confusion? That's not a coincidence. That's a tactic. Machiavelli said, "The vulgar crowd is always taken by appearances. The world is made up of the vulgar." Meaning, most people believe the surface. And manipulators know that. So they craft a beautiful mask while bleeding you behind closed doors. Here's the truth. When someone's words and energy don't match, trust the energy. When someone makes you feel smaller for having needs, that's not love. That's control. Now that you can recognize the confusion, let's talk about the 5 tactics manipulators use and how you can dismantle each one before it takes root. Part 2. The 5 tactics they don't want you to recognize. 1. They use flattery as a weapon. "You're the only one who really understands me." Sounds sweet, doesn't it? Until it becomes obligation. You begin to question, what do they gain by making me feel special? 2. They guilt trip you. They'll say things like, "I guess I just care more than you do," turning your no into a moral failure. Your follow-up should be, "I care, but my no still stands." 3. They gaslight you. You're imagining things. You're just being emotional. You say, "I don't need agreement to know what I felt." 4. They give you the silent treatment. They disappear, shut down, go cold, don't chase. Let their silence echo in their own emptiness. 5. They use triangulation. Even your best friend agrees with me. Ask them, why are we involving others in a conversation you and I should be having directly? When you can name the tactic they are trying to use, you take away its power. But why do we keep falling for this over and over again, even when it hurts? That's what we'll unpack in the next section. Part 3. Why you keep falling for it, and why it's not your fault. Let me be clear, this is not your fault. You've been conditioned by culture, family, religion, trauma to doubt yourself. You were raised to prioritize peace over truth. You were taught to feel guilt when choosing yourself. Dr. Bessel van der Kolk wrote, "When people are chronically abused, their capacity to recognize danger decreases. That's why you normalize it. You say, they're going through something. You say, nobody's perfect. You say, maybe I'm too much. But your body knows. Your spirit knows. And I'm here to remind you, you're not crazy. You're just waking up." So now the question becomes, how do you stop being vulnerable to manipulation without becoming cold or closed off? In the next part, we'll turn to Machiavelli's actual mindset and how you can apply it without losing your soul. Part 4. Machiavelli's real lesson: clarity over comfort. It is better to be feared than loved if you cannot be both. Machiavelli wasn't saying, be cruel. He was saying, it's better to be respected with boundaries than to be loved without any. Manipulators don't go after the heartless. They go after the generous, the soft, the forgiving. So you must become kind but discerning, loving but not controllable, empathetic but not available to manipulation. And that requires something most people never develop: an inner frame. In the next part, we'll show you how to build a personal frame so strong no one can ever hijack your mind again. Part 5. Build a frame. They can't break your frame is your personal lens, your truth. Manipulators try to shift it, twist it, reframe you as the villain. You say, that hurt me. They say, you're so sensitive. Now you're explaining your emotions instead of protecting your boundary. Don't do it. Instead, say, you don't have to agree with how I feel, but I won't deny it to make you comfortable. When you hold your frame, you become unshakable. And in the next section, we're going to take that one step deeper by detaching from the one thing manipulators feed on: your need for their approval. Part 6. Detach from need, return to power. Manipulation thrives when you need something from them: validation, belonging, applause, affection. So you stop asking hard questions. You tolerate the cycle, hoping for change. There is no change. The truth is, I want connection, but not at the cost of my clarity. I want peace, but not if I have to abandon myself to get it. I love you, but I will leave you if I must. That's the voice of a woman who is free. And speaking of clarity, if this video is helping you see things you couldn't see before, go ahead and click the subscribe button. We don't make videos just for content. We create them for transformation. If this message is waking something up inside you, subscribe now. Because around here, we don't just survive manipulation. We study it. We outgrow it. We rise above it with strategy, clarity, and truth. Let's keep going. Part 7. When they come back. The test of your new power. Eventually, they'll try to come back with tears, promises, apologies, regret. But here's what you need to ask yourself: are they returning because they've changed, or because they lost control of you? Manipulators don't fear being wrong. They fear losing access. So when they say, I've changed, I didn't mean it, I miss you, ask, does this feel like peace or pressure? And trust your body. It remembers everything your mind tried to forget. In this final section, we're going to give you a new code to live by, one that will protect you, guide you, and make sure you're never manipulated again. Part 8. Your new code. Here's your new standard. Say it with me. I do not justify my peace. I do not explain my worth. I do not defend my boundaries to those who benefit from crossing them. I would rather walk away in truth than stay attached to confusion. I lose people, but I do not lose myself. That is power. That is clarity. That is the version of you they never saw coming. Today, a part of you died. The version who tolerated too much. The version who stayed for crumbs. The version who begged to be seen. And in her place is a woman who sees the tactics, who holds the frame, who chooses clarity over comfort. You are no longer programmable. You're no longer available for manipulation. You've awakened. Click the subscribe button. Now, if this video gave you clarity, strategy, and strength, because around here, we don't chase people. We choose ourselves every single time. Stay grounded, stay strategic, and never, ever be manipulated again. Awakening truth.